I'll start off with this, and this is from Murshid Sam's commentaries on Kashf, insight. Contemplation in the highest sense is called Mushahida by Sufis. Its root, shahud, means perception. It differs from meditation and concentration in that there must be openness and effort both. Openness and effort both. The concentration helps the focusing. When you're concentrating, there's one-pointedness, there's will, there's individual endeavor. That's what Murshid means when he says effort. Effort is connected with concentration, attaining one-pointedness, the discipline of maintaining one's awareness in that way and moving with that concentration. Keeping one's effort focused in that way. Meditation, on the other hand, is, in the sense Hazrat Khan is using these words, would be to enter into that state where mind is before thought and merge with that as one's real essence. And so contemplation, which Mushahida is the kind of culminating contemplation practice, combines both these elements. The element of effort, one-pointedness, and so forth, and the opening to what is, the letting go into what is. Okay, so that's just a framework. Here's something from Physicians of the Heart that touches on where I referred to this teaching earlier, but I'm just going to read a little bit of it or summarize some of it. Basically, it's about what the perfection of the human being entails. When the description of Prophet Muhammad is Sayyid al-Alamain, the master of the two worlds, which means one foot in the relative world and one foot in the absolute world at the same time. And that's the pinnacle of the position of the human being. To simply merge with the absolute and identify with it is not yet a complete experience. When you reach union with the beloved and become one with the beloved, there's no sense of me separate from the absolute. There is just pure awareness. In that pure awareness, there's an awakening. You realize you're a unique being with a unique frequency, with a unique soul, a unique history, and a unique evolution. A being that is beautiful and delightful. You develop a consciousness that can unify and integrate the absolute and the relative. And that is the great witness consciousness, the consciousness described as Mushahida. Let me just go over that. You know, coming out of that state of samadhi, or out of that state where you are one with the beloved beyond any sense of self-awareness, one is just merged in that condition. What arises there is what is the sense of a real self, and that is what is expressed in the Wazaif as the wahid, that perfection of your individual soul, and that is unique. Each one is like a snowflake. Each one has a unique signature. Each one has a unique history. It's differentiated from the source in that way, but it's never separated from the source. And in its differentiation, it has this uniqueness. And we, from that place of recognizing, it's kind of like if you look at, let's say, all that is as the waters of existence. Just assume it's just like, this is one of the Hindu metaphors for reality, is the cosmic waters, the waters that are all pervading. And within those waters is a being, yourself, composed of the same material as the waters itself, but unique. It's like a unique fish swimming in the cosmic waters, but the fish is really, in essence, nothing but the waters itself. But it's coalesced as an entity within, and so that's really our cosmic condition as human beings. So when you come to that sense of self within the selfless absolute, you have this opportunity to enter this great witnessing consciousness. Because you see, as we say here, pure awareness lacks differentiation. Pure awareness sees unity and oneness. The moment it enters differentiation, it becomes witness consciousness. It becomes diamond-like consciousness, a consciousness that unifies the relative and the absolute. This is the middle ground where the human being resides. We weave the relative and the absolute together. We are like the spiders who are at work unifying the spider web. What is desired in this process is your remembrance of the birthright of your whole soul, what is yours by right of creation. From there, you see, you are, from when you get the birthright, when you get this sense of self in the midst of this, when you come into that sense of what my soul really is, you recognize on the one hand that you're the undivided, undifferentiated reality itself, and from there, while you can retain at the same time your sense of your individuation as this unique, perfect soul, you have this opportunity to have this witness consciousness emerge where you can be aware of both of these at the same time. So this is, again, part of the background of what we want to understand as we come into this contemplation practice. Ruhaniat Khan says, oh no, it's not missing, I just haven't put my finger on it. Oh yeah, it's so short. This is from the Bowl of Sake, quote, "Our greatest privilege is to become a suitable instrument of God." Our greatest privilege is to become a suitable instrument of God. And Murshid Sam comments, "Nothing is more beautiful than the vision of God, but nothing is more noble than to let God see visions out of one's eyes, so that God may look upon the world and serve the world and give the world all the succor it needs. This is self-sacrifice, which is sacrifice only of limitation and selfishness, and brings one infinite capacity." Let me just read a little more. Man's growth to realization. This is from Murshid Sam's teachings in his lessons on Fanafi Sheikh. Man's growth to realization is called evolution. We find this in the ultimate teachings of both Sufis and Hindus, and no doubt in all truly spiritual schools. For there is only one truth, no matter how verbalized. This also is the Baka, the divine life, which is there but of which man is not usually aware. There are many aspects and practices in esotericism which help bring this about. But muraqabah or concentration can be used to push the human being a little, while mushahida or sublime contemplation actually, and this is really interesting if you can get this, while Mushahida, or sublime contemplation, actually regards man as already illuminated even when man is not aware of it, even when woman is not aware of it, even when she is not aware of it, she is already illuminated. And it is through Mushahida that the human being truly becomes a servant of God in the outer plane. Although contemplation, Mushahida, is looked upon as man's effort, actually one is permitting the divine in one to express and live, and no longer the ego self. For in Mushahida there can be no ego self. The self has to be removed. And when the self is removed, as the Sufi thoughts tell us, God is there and expressing himself, herself, in both the outer and inner worlds. As what Murshid's referring to is in the 10 Sufi thoughts where Hazrat Inayat Khan says, there's only one path, the annihilation of the false self in the real, or the false ego in the real, which raises the mortal to immortality, and in which resides all perfection. So in the Mushahida practice, we are the eyes through which God sees. We are the will through which God acts. We take on the unlimited nature of God, because that is our real nature. So we, as Murshid says, we act as if already we were already illuminated. I mean, it's, we were already fully awakened, because that's our nature. So by acting that way, assuming that nature, then we give God the total opportunity to use us as an instrument for the divine purpose. We give that permission. Somewhere Murshid says that by making this opening, when one says, for example, takes the Bodhisattvic oath, where we say, no matter how innumerable sentient beings are, I vow to illuminate them all, take them all to liberation. No matter how innumerable the deluding passions, I vow to extinguish them all. It says, and so forth. I vow to become Buddha. By making that intention, one leaves a great space for God to operate. We give an inner permission to be an instrument in that way. So this is why these practices are considered very advanced, and I'm not giving them so people can say, oh, geez, I can never do that. That's way beyond me. You know, because when we actually introduce the actual practice, we're going to start in different stages of it. But this is like, in an ultimate sense, how the universe expresses itself through us.
Isn't that true the I can't do it?
What?
Isn't it true that the I can't do it?
The I can't do it.
Yeah.
The I can't do it. But the I that is Tattva-masi can do it. The I that has identified, that has gotten over the notion of the limited sense of self that's been constructed by our conditioning. So we have a sense of self that's constructed by our conditioning that we identify with, that limits us. And that's what we are annihilating. We're annihilating that view of self. We're not cutting our head off. We're just annihilating that way of looking at ourselves, because we cling to that way. It's very stubborn. It keeps coming up, and so we need to find a way of dissolving it, so that we can come from our illuminated nature without limitation, and that's where we're working to come from in the Mushahida practice. And of course, technically speaking, if you are in Mushahida, it is an established state, and that's where you are all the time. So really what we're trying to get is mu'ayyan, where you get there sometimes, you know, and you come in and out of it. But the more we understand about it, the more I always understood. I can understand my teacher really a lot better the more I study about this practice, because this was the state that he was constantly cultivating, and where he was coming from most of the time in terms of the way he related to the world. Let's work together on a concentration here, an area of awareness. Well, I'll give a noble area for us to work on. On holding in his heart all the people that have ever been initiated in the name of Hazrat Inayat Khan. You know, ever have been and ever will be. You know, all of this whole stream of many lineages because we already have a connection with this ourselves. And we can hold all of these beings, this great caravan of beings, and with this, and shaping this to achieve, for harmony, for, in what ways that you are drawn to shape it as it comes up. Regarding being non-separate from it, seeing it all as an aspect of yourself, looking at it with the eyes of God, purifying the breath, and shaping it according to what comes through your awareness. If I were giving it to you individually, I'd say, as Murshid says here, start with your immediate environment, those that are closest to you, your family, where you're living, the people in your life that are, most immediate to you, and put that, and that you should be able to hold. There may be conflicts there. There usually are somewhere, and working in that sphere with this. As Murshid says, if we can work in this limited sphere in this way, without saying, oh, well, I should be working for world peace right now, instead of just trying to bring peace here in the Conca, let's say, or that's a grandiose assumption. We just need to begin where we can. But right now we're going to begin, yes.
I'm just a little confused. You talked about...
just a little? Maybe I can confuse you a little more.
I'm lost. But,
Okay.
but it seemed like you said holding the whole lineage, and then you talked about, a smaller focus.
Yeah, well, what I was saying is, for this group meditation, let's hold the whole of the lineage.
I see what you're saying.
But when you take this practice home with you, start small, even smaller than that. If you're really comfortable working in that range, feel it. Feel this for a while, and then expand, and continue to expand. So we're going to start with Allahu Akbar, and then use some of these things, shaping it like a potter, clearing it. All these things being the eyes through which God sees in this context. Okay. So here we go. Allahu Akbar. 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 Allahu, a little faster. Allahu Akbar. 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 Allahu Akbar, 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 Allahu Akbar. Now, continuing on the breath, feeling the heart, feeling the accommodation of the heart, letting it hold all those who have ever been initiated in the name of Hazrat Inayat Khan, Sufi Ahmed Murad Chishti, all these beings that in our lineage, feel them all held within this accommodation of the heart which the breath is holding. The breath is the current that is running through this. Bringing the inner container into equanimity, purifying. Feeling no separation from this stream of being, stream of events. And gradually, when you feel the capacity arising to begin to shape this according to the divine vision. And as you move into seeing the future manifestation of this through various vehicles, individuals, movements, and the like, continue to hold this harmony of manifestation within your heart as you shape this unfoldment. Now, as a way of closing this practice, for now you inscribe in light across the accommodation of your heart the name of Allah, the name of the One and only Being. Seal that. Any questions at this point? Comments? I have a comment, which is I found my contemplation moved very. I was able to hold the sense of the whole stream of this caravan of beings with quite easily, really. I mean, because it was easy to feel that harmony for all of these beings and that sense of blessing and holding and light coming in, and then one's inner attention turned to the vehicles of the expression, the organizations, and all of, and then you begin to see all of these things in the sense of events more than as people, and then it brings brought for me the contemplation into another level of functioning. That was my report. Yes, Malik?
Yeah, well, I felt the antecedents from India, but mainly the effect of so many who are inwardly developed to realize their true beings, and then affecting the outer world, and particularly agriculture, politics, and many other facets of life affecting our civilization.
That's the direction mine went to, yeah, my contemplation. Yeah. You wanted to say, Mary?
Use this for the purpose that I was going to choose it. Came all the way out and then came back here to Compilation with everyone, and the new way of opening here for the Salute Academy to come here as it's coming in the person of someone who's bringing something to us in the next couple of weeks, and how it's just a stream.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing, you know, I mean, you see it on a vast scale, and then you see it brought home right into your immediate neighborhood of where you live. And anything else? Yes,
Well, as far as the shaping, what came were faces of young people and a longing for young people, and then wondering, well, what's our mechanism for bringing the young people into this beautiful stream? And I never was able to go further than that. And then it got more non-specific again, and I feel us all in this moving Gulf Stream along this continuum of light, and I'm like, oh, I'm really spacing out now. But that's really kind of what I'm hoping for. I felt all of our hearts, and I felt this radiation of peace that hopefully will magnetize the young and bring them along.
all we have to do is invite them in a good way. Every soul is longing for happiness. Every soul is longing for love, for harmony, for beauty. You know, we just got to get over our place of separation in relation to young people or whatever. This message is a message which answers the need of humanity at this time. You know, other messages do too, but this is the one we're working within, and so I think it's really just important to understand, just invite from that deep place of your sense of what it is, you know, this tremendous power for awakening, for love, harmony, beauty, to go right into our practical lives. Everybody longs for that, so don't be afraid to invite. Don't imagine that they have to change. We're the ones that need to change in our ability to connect. As you get older, it becomes more of an accomplishment to be able to relate to people that are from different generations, you know. And so this is something we all have to overcome. Some of us are much better than others at doing this. Murshid Sam was so happy to see the young people, you know, because, you know, that was his, you know, they were drawn to him at that time, yeah, and that was, you know, and I think that's going to happen now. It's happening, but as we wake up to the fact that, you know, it's going to take us to move beyond our comfort zone, where we're comfortable sharing what we are, to places where it's not so easy to step from your sense of being separated from those people. Once you overcome your sense of separation from whatever it is that you think is outside of where we are, then we'll be able to be there. And we're going to take this state that we're in as just the place where we're going to begin our Mushahida practice, and we'll begin by saying Allahu Akbar, Ya Barr. 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 Once more. Allahu Akbar, Ya Barr. Now feeling the vastness of the container of your heart, and understanding that this body is the temple of God, and this heart space, this accommodation, is the altar in the temple of God. Attract into the altar of your temple that which you most truly wish to nourish right now, an area where you would like to bring relief to conflict, understanding, wisdom, love, joy, peace, whatever you want to bring into it as the eye of God, the heart of God, the sense of God, holding this in the altar of feeling and breathing with this, molding it, shaping yourself there in your contemplation of it, becoming the instrument. You prepare yourself to bring this contemplation to a conclusion. Let's just blow the sound hu into the heart as a way of coming to a group conclusion here.
So why don't we start going through this dance with reviewing it, since people really know the melody, by kind of walking through each of the parts of the dance. Okay. And then we'll be able to just move into dancing more quickly. You know the Mevlevi step, or the wedding step, where you step, touch, step, touch. That's the first step in this. And it's, this is how I would die. So everyone put your hands on your heart, and you're just walking, right? So start with the right foot. This is how I would die. Into the love I have for you. This is how I would die. Into the love I have for you. Now the next part is the partner part. So turn and face a partner. Take hands with the partner, so I know you've got a partner. And if you don't have one, step in. So this is as pieces of partner. So you take hands with the partner, and you switch places. So you can somebody demonstrate with me? Will you demonstrate? As pieces of cloud dissolve in sunlight. And you do it again with the next partner. Do that twice. So let's. So I forgot to review the words. As pieces of cloud dissolve in sunlight. Let's just try this with this partner and the next. As pieces of cloud dissolve in sunlight. So new partner, do it again. As pieces of cloud. Turn on your own. Dissolve in sunlight. Now this time we're doing the zikr, but we're doing it with a very similar step that we just did, except we're coming in. La ilaha illallah. Going out. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. That's a turn. It's slow as fast as you want. It starts to the right, so I'll call it out. Walking forward, let's do that step into the center and out. It's a partner dance, and I don't have a partner. You want to dance with me? I'll step in with you. Are y'all? Who's your next partner? Everybody, take hands with your next partner, so we know. There you go. Perfect. So we're starting with this Mevlevi step, but we're going to step in and out instead of forward. This is how I would die, into the love I have for you. This is how I would die, into
Let's just stand here together for a minute and feel the heart of our energy here and dedicate this for the benefit of all. And let's sing. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. Peace. Peace. Peace be with you. Don't forget to get a copy of the practices, especially if you're not coming back tonight.